Dr. Anane Antwi is convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. You're welcome, Doc.
Thank you.
Adobea Asante is a member of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you.
We've heard from Dr. Asante, Dr. Antwi a number of times. We are having you in the studio for the first time, Madam Adobea. Tell us your own story. We want to hear your story first, then we'll come to Doc.
Thank you so much. I mean, my own story as a pensioner is also to plead for total exemption. As you've heard us saying for more than 3 weeks, most of us do not work. So this is our lifetime savings. This is the gratuity that most of us, received when we went on pension.
So before we talk about the consequence of what the government plans to do, tell us your story. So what did you do? How long ago did you retire? What was your plan when you put the money, investing it for your pension? If you could share some of those.
Yes, I retired.
If it's not too personal, you can share.
Well, I retired last year in January, and I used virtually about 99% of my gratuity into the bonds, because I knew that the bonds were risk-free. I've never heard of the government ever defaulting payment of coupons or bonds upon maturity. And so I thought I had invested in a very risk-free bond. I've never heard the government going bankrupt. So I knew that I was going on retirement peacefully and going to enjoy all the comforts of what a pensioner should enjoy, having worked so hard for over 34 years.
In which of the sectors?
In the financial sector.
Okay. So you understand the market very well. You knew what you were doing.
Yes, because as I said, I knew I was going into something that was risk-free and a very long-term, a long-term investment. And unfortunately, it looks like what we bargained for,
it's not what you're getting.
It's not what we are getting.
Even though that's your sector in the finance world, so you understand how these things work, do you not think that it was too audacious to have put 90% of your proceeds in there, your gratuity into that particular one? Could you not have put it elsewhere? Maybe invested in cattle, for instance.
Well, not all of us have the business acumen, and I know my parents, elderly ones, who've also had bonds for so many years and haven't had any problem with it. And so I thought, and I knew at that time that it was the best choice, the best way to go, because, as I said, I don't have the business acumen, and I knew that with my little pension, the bonds would definitely help me.
So essentially, you're going to be doing hand to mouth. The government will keep the money for you. You knew that every year or every 3 years or every 5 years, you know how much you're going to make on how much you've given to the government. And so you essentially plan to survive on that, not to come and be running business with your gratuity. That was your plan.
Yes, the coupons were supposed to come every 6 months. Yes.
And so that was what you were going to survive on, pretty much.
Exactly, in addition to my pension.
Okay.
Yes, which is not much.
So your life, you had it figured out?
Planned out.
Using this as a basis?
Of course, yes.
Dr. Antwi, let me hear your story again. So you were in the finance world.
Yes.
You actually
I was teaching people
how to
advising people to invest.
You were with the
Security
Exchange. So this would have been your
area.
40.
Yes.
And you were telling people that no, this is the safest thing to do.
That is what I have done whilst I was there, advising people.
What percentage of your own?
For me, every investment that I got, in fact, I started investing somewhere 76, 77.
Before the coup of 79?
Yes. Because I started working 75.
Okay.
And savings has been part of me.
So throughout military rule, I was still saving. And all these were not touched?
Yes.
The Achampon time was what, 78?
Yes.
Okay, he came 72.
I remember years back when you have to go to the Bank of Ghana and buy your treasury bills. I personally go take the money there and buy your treasury bills or your bonds. So, yes.
Until it became computerized, so that you just click and then you buy.
Yes.
And so almost everything you have has been in the bond market.
Yes.
And you expected that what will happen. You retired, what, 5 years ago?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. What was your plan?
For my sustenance, when people say work, I say, look, if I were in the UK or the US, I don't retire and continuously be working. Then what is the essence of that retirement? I should save, put money away somewhere, and then allow my investment to take care of me, at least basic things that I need in my life, medication, your light bill, your water bill. You come out, you leave your official driver there, you leave office car. Office was giving you medical, paying your medical bills, water, and these are the things I teach people, that as soon as you come out, when people think that you are going to have less expenditure, no, your expenditure level rises, because the things that you used to get free, you were getting coupon for fuel. You had I had a security man.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
because you were top there, top of the
2 security
SEC.
men. As soon as I retire, I have to be paying them myself.
Or you let them go.
Or I let them go.
The state doesn't help you.
The state doesn't help you anyway.
So you thought you were being smart.
Yes.
So let me put this money down to
so
protect
that if
myself.
all these things cease, at least I know I have something to do. I'm growing. I have to get a driver because you stop your driver.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay for your own medical. You have to pay for your own electricity, your water, your everything.
And this story of yours is similar to other stories of the people who were joining you for the picketing.
Exactly. We had an 81-year-old.
Adobea, when you first heard, initially they had told us that pension funds would not be touched. But when it turned out that pension funds were going to be touched and you knew the consequence, how did you feel?
I felt very devastated, and I felt it was a big betrayal on the part of the Minister of Finance.
What did you then think was going to happen to you in terms of the negative consequences?
Well, I even though I felt devastated, I believed that eventually he would give in to our plea of, exempting pensioners, because if pensioners' funds had been, exempted, we knew that as pensioners, our funds were also used to purchase the bonds, and so what is good for the goose would definitely be good for the gander, and so we knew that. Inwardly, I knew that it would be sorted out at the end of the day.
It's been weeks now.
As the days go by, I realize that nothing is happening, and it's still worrying. But we can never give up. We can never give up. We can never give up.
Dr. Antwi, the Minister of Finance spoke to us and said, "Buamina mimbuao or buayena yembuamo."
Yeah, you see, well, if I want to take it even on the face of it, if a financial institution says we have held 50 businesses, what do you understand by that? If a financial institution says we have held 50 businesses, basically it means they have what? They have given loans to them to operate their businesses. So if I have given loan to you, I have helped you.
So you mean you've been helping the government since 1975?
Yes, I've helped you by buying.
You've already done the helping.
Yes, once I'm giving you, I'm buying your bills and your bonds. I'm giving you credit. We all, if you are at the village and you need a child's school fees, you go round begging. Mm-hmm. You beg. There are some people, they say, you tell them your whole story before they say, I'm sorry, I can't give you. So if somebody grants you loan, that person has helped you. So the minister should know we have already helped. by giving you the loans.
But these are critical times, and the kind of help the minister wants, I'm sure you clearly understand that. We need to be out of the problem that we are, and contributions from your good selves would come in handy. That's what the minister means, Adobea.
Where contributions mean?
Your pension fund.
I mean, he knows very well that, yes, having been able to exempt the pension fund, which is quite a big amount, I think, Matthew,
Yes.
almost 30 billion.
Mm.
Why wouldn't he be able to, exempt pensioners' funds, which must be...
I think it's between, not up to even 3 billion.
It shouldn't be.
That's
even,
what I'm
even if
hearing.
it were 3-4 billion. So why can't you, if you've been able to sacrifice about 30 billion for those who are still working,
Who are yet to
go, the future pensioners?
Because they have a bigger union. There's NAGRAD, there's NAT, there's
But
TEU, all of
should
them.
that
They
be-
can hold the government to ransom. You
So,
cannot. You can only
yes.
hold your walking sticks.
Yes, and continue picketing and continue, talking to other, individuals, other people,
Leaders in the society.
the leaders in the society. They all sympathize with us, and so we believe that this continuous picketing, this continuous push, these such conversations as we're having now, would help soften, for want of a better word, the heart of the finance minister.
Dr. Antwi, are you really sure you are making any impact with your picketing? Because you've gone from Monday to date. The minister met you on day one, and that's it.
Sure.
Are you sure his heart is being touched?
I believe so. You see, it takes some time. People, maybe I believe he's putting some figures together. That's what my belief is. He's adding up and see if this thing happens, what will happen. So I believe he's doing that. And you see, when the Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Today is
Thursday.
It was Tuesday that we had when Parliament resumed.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Parliament, I believe it was that picketing that, drew the attention to Parliament rather fast when they came, even though we have sent them a copy of the petition. This was, something that you have seen, being played on television, you see in the elderly. So even if you were looking at it, it was you were taking your time to look at it. Immediately, you say, no, this one, we must do something immediately, the way things are going. So that alone shows that the effect is there. And again, the first day, we wanted to meet the minister. We couldn't meet him. He didn't come down until we all left. And 5 of us who were still available met him. And some people have come to say, do you think that sometimes you go picketing and nobody will come and even talk to you? And I told them, well, these are elderly people. Sometimes maybe some of the people that we are having even passed to be your father or your mother. So definitely you have to respect them and come. And of course, he came very late, but at least it was good that he has come. So I believe that these things are going to work, because you won't be comfortable looking at this and allow it to go on and on and on and on. That's a bad image we are creating for this country. The first time in history. I'm only 66 years, but I haven't heard
before that
anything of this nature has happened in this country, not even when they were trying to get independence. So it's a bad image for the country.
Could it be that you are misdirecting your attack, quote and unquote? Maybe you should have gone to the Jubilee House. There's a 78-year-old man there. He has retired 18 years ago, if we were to go by the retirement year of 60. And I'm referring to the president, Anane Akufo-Addo. Why didn't you go to him instead? He would understand your plight better. He's a retired man too.
He's a retired man, but he's put the affairs, the finances, in the hands of Honorable
But the buck stops with the president.
The buck stops with the president, but we felt, it was a step in the right direction to deal with the Minister of Finance. And of course, he handles everything, and I believe that he advises the president's, on the financial status and everything. And I believe that talking to him is just like talking to the presidents. I mean, there's a saying we say that if you want to talk to God, you should sing through the wind. And so I think that talking to the Honorable Minister about our plight was, the best step in the best direction.
So you return tomorrow? You go to the ministry again tomorrow?
We will go.
Dr. Antwi, so what next? Tomorrow is a deadline. After tomorrow...
Before the deadline, let me add on to the presidency. I think the first, the petition, he was the only one copied to. They copied itself on the face of the letter to the finance minister, copied to the president. So he was copied, delivered to his office. So when we're dealing with the finance minister and it looks as we are not getting what we want to get, we tried to book an appointment with the chief of staff. That was this Friday before on the Friday before this last Friday, and we went there. They took the letter and they said we should bring a letter again the next Monday. So Monday we sent an official letter wanting to have a meeting with the chief of staff. That's a way of getting to the president. Okay. That Monday evening, I had a call from that office. Said they have received a letter that I sent in the morning, and that we are looking at getting time for us to meet. I haven't heard from that office again. And so we've done what we have to do to get to the presidency directly, even after we have copied this letter to the rest of the people who receive our petition. We send the petition and a cover letter to them, not directly copied them on the face.
He's the president
who had that.
What next for you after tomorrow?
Well, after tomorrow, we are going to continue with what we are doing.
Even on Monday?
Even on Monday.
If it's not withdrawn.
We have said, and sometimes, I don't know whether people think, if we have the strength, and we pray God that we should always have, if we have the strength, even if 10 people will have the strength, they will be there continuously until this exemption is granted. Monday, we will be there, God's willing. The only day that we are deciding not to be there will be Tuesday, when the minister is supposed to appear before Parliament. We are going to be in Parliament and see and hear for ourselves what he will tell Parliament, what the responses of Parliament will be, what the reaction of parliamentarians and others will be. So that day we won't be at the ministry.
But you won't go on weekend either because you won't be there on
working day. Our letter to the police says we are going there every working day until the matter is resolved.
Why don't you go to the courts?
No, we won't go to courts. The pension funds, those whose funds were supposed to be giving them, is to be giving them when they have come on retirement. They didn't go to court. It's a moral argument. If you think that people who are yet to come on pensions should not be taken through this kind of thing so that they don't come home and suffer, become a burden on others. And I'll share something that Biden said at his...
please share, because we are just leaving now.
So, you see, our government should note and take care of the elderly. This Biden's State of the Union address...
Joe Biden, President of America.
It is said that he mentioned senior citizens 9 times in the speech.
Because he's one of them.
It has never been mentioned 9 times for any American president as at now, because of the various programs he's putting in place for seniors. And look at what is it. He said you want to provide a higher benefit to the oldest Americans. At advanced ages, Americans become more vulnerable to exhausting their savings, even in America. Sometimes falling into poverty and living a life of hardship. Even in America, the president, in spite of all the good things that American people enjoy whilst on retirement, the head of state realized that still they need to do something more for them. And he's bringing more programs that will benefit the the senior citizen, so that they don't go through hardship. You are here. We are unable to do any of these things for our seniors.
And yet, the
small thing that the senior has saved.
You want to collect?
You want to impair the income flow that is coming from it.
Thank you, Doc. Adobea, give me your final words. Speak to the finance minister. He's listening.
Well, Honorable Finance Minister, man of God, on behalf
white dress wearing man of God.
In all humility, we are still on our knees pleading that all the pensioners need total exemption. We have heard a lot. The issues, the problems that will befall us if we don't receive these coupons. You've heard it over and over again. So we believe that at the end of the day, you would listen to our humble plea. It is our prayer that the good Lord would guide you to answer us. We know you're a man of God. We know that you respect your elders and you will do the needful. Thank you.
Thank you too. So that's Adobea Asante, member, Pensioner Bondholders Forum, and Dr. Anane, Antwi, Convenor, Pensioner Bondholders Forum. Thank you so much for being on the program.